Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Clarity Tarot and Astrology. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys are all doing very well and are excited for a live reading session. Tonight, we are doing free full moon and Libra astrology readings, and those are available for those of you who are my channel member. So, any membership tier, you can get a free full moon and Libra astrology reading. Just let me know that you're interested and we'll do your reading right here on the stream. Now, if you are interested in becoming a member of my channel, then I'd be happy to have you. I have three different membership tiers. So, depending on which tier you're on, is going to depend on the perks that you get. But all members get access to my behind the scenes exclusive content. They also get readings throughout the month that aren't available to other people. And it's just a way to have a tarot reader and an astrologer constantly looking at your energy and making you aware of things so you stay up to date on what is going on with you. Okay, so I'll leave the link for my membership in the description below. Now, I did post a full moon in Libra astrology video yesterday. So if you haven't already saw that and you want to know about this full moon and what energy it's bringing, that is available on the channel for free. So you can just go and check that out. The benefit of being a member is that you get it early and you get it without ads. Okay, so that's one of the perks of being a member. But I do have the free video linked in the chat. Okay. All right, guys. So I think that's everything from me. Happy full moon to you guys. Good luck to everyone. And just let me know if you would like a reading. Hi, Jaren. No, that's okay. No problem. Thank you so much for your donation. You can go ahead and post your question whenever you're ready. Okay, so you asked, will my cat Venus, I love that name, and I be happier in the two-bedroom apartment in my building? There was an apartment available in May, June on the other side of the building, so I believe it will be much quieter. However, it's a two-bedroom, so about 370 more per month, still under market. Okay, so let's see what the energy is of the two-bedroom. What does Jaren need to know about the two-bedroom apartment? Will she and Venus be happy there? What do you want her to know about this? Oh, well, that worked out good. Okay, so the overall energy of the two-bedroom, we have the Three of Pentacles. Okay. So yeah, it may stretch you financially. However, it also may motivate you to like improve your finances, or may motivate you to want to level up your life in some way. So even though it's more, sometimes more kind of like motivates you, and that's what I feel with this apartment. I do have the tower at the bottom of the deck though. So, that may not that may not be the vibe you're looking for, but that's likely what you'll get. Okay. So if you're wanting to be stretched, if you're wanting to be motivated, if you feel like, yeah, this is going to be out of my comfort zone, but I'm willing to do it, then okay. But if you're like, no, I'm looking for peace, quiet, calm, I just want to kind of continue on the path I'm on right now. I'm not looking to like really exert, a lot of extra energy, then I would, really consider that. Okay. Let's see what else. High Priestess. Yeah. So I feel like, so let's say you go through with this. I do think it maybe stretches you a little bit financially, but what it also does is it stretches you spiritually as well, because it sort of requires you to have to connect with a higher version of yourself. Like you kind of have to align with a future version of yourself. Like maybe you're meant to get to a certain point in your life and in your finances, like let's say 5 years from now. This apartment helps you get there in two. Okay. So again, if that's an experience you're looking to have, then there you go. But if not, be careful, because again, bottom of the deck, what do I have? Five of Cups. I have loss. I have kind of emotional difficulty, which, you know, I'm not saying like, oh, that's a bad thing. It's just kind of a part of the journey. Whenever you're growing, there's going to be growing pains. And that's kind of what I'm feeling with this. It's like this is kind of going to make you grow, and it may be painful, but you're going to get a good result in the end. Let's see what else. Temperance. Yeah, this will be quite an experience. I know it's only $370 more, but I feel like for whatever reason, it really, stretches you and really requires you to have to like do more or be more, increase your finances, increase your value, increase your worth, maybe kind of do things that you wouldn't normally do, which could be good. Sometimes getting out of your comfort zone is a good thing if that's what you're wanting. Okay. You said I'm looking for more peace and quiet in terms of the environment since I get woken up 4 times a week. Oh no. And it's loud for Venus, but yeah, it would force me to budget. Right. And like maybe being forced to budget would, help you to tighten up, would help you to, get to your financial goals faster. I don't see that as like a bad thing. But what it would be is it would be kind of like a forced thing, as opposed to, this is what I want to happen. Like when you're choosing to kind of like budget and tighten up and things like that, it's one thing, but it feels like this would be like thrust upon you, like you would have to do it. You'd like have no choice. You said, I do like our current apartment, but it's just loud outside often. Gotcha. And yeah, 370 isn't a ton, but I know over the years it will continue to increase. Right, exactly. I mean, 370 is 370. Think about every single month, 370 over the course of 12 months. That's a lot of money. So, it's, I mean, is it possible that you could move to like a different apartment at the same price? Like maybe like a whole different, building at the same price as opposed to same building, but, increasing by 370. That probably would be, the better option if that's available, right? But yeah, it feels like that increase in price, not only does it increase your price, it also increases, kind of your stress level as well. Caitlin, thank you so much for your donation. You will be next, my love. He said, I'm sure I could find a different unit at the same price eventually. Yeah. Um, I would I would search around. I wouldn't take the 370 as, this is your only option. I think maybe there are other options, before you pull the trigger. I would make sure for sure you could get, couldn't get anything else. Um, but yeah, it's going to stretch you. It's going to stretch you. And it's just really up to you whether you, want to be stretched. You're welcome. Good luck. All right, next up we have Caitlin. Hello, nice to meet you. Let me just give me 1 second to read your question. So you said, I love a general reading for the next few months. My B-Day is okay. Gotcha. So for a chart reading. Okay, so my chart readings start at 50. So if you wanted a chart reading, you would just need to donate the difference for that. And then we can kind of take a look at what the most important things are for you to know over the next couple of months. Okay, and let me change it to Katie. Awesome. Thank you so much for your donation. Let me go ahead and put your chart details in. Just give me 1 second for you. All right, so here is your chart. Have you ever had your chart read before? Okay, cool. All right. So you know the terminology and stuff. I don't have to be like super beginner, but if you don't understand anything I'm saying, just let me know. Okay. All right. So you want to know about the next couple of months? Well, we've just entered spring. So I'll kind of give you a little bit of a spring overview. You said once for my son in return a few years back, and then a couples with my ex. Okay, so you're pretty familiar with how this goes. All right. So, like I said, we've just entered spring. So, we'll kind of go over some of like the big things to know about the springtime. And for you, you are a Cancer rising. So, the moon is your chart ruler. So, whatever the moon is doing, those are the most important things for you specifically. And that's going to kind of um, be the frame of your experience, right? So, tomorrow we have a full moon in Libra, and this for you is happening in your fourth house of home, family, and your emotional well being. So, for the first half of April, you're kind of working in this more private area of your chart, your living situation, and all matters around that are going to become more important, more critical. There could be some culmination or ending in a living situation. Okay. Not necessarily that like you're going to move or anything like that. Maybe potentially just that something emotionally that maybe you've been dealing with for some time, maybe the past 6 months, sort of comes to a head. You get the clarity and the understanding that you need to move on, and that kind of kicks off your spring. So with that inner clarity, then that sort of helps you to make decisions moving forward. Following that, you're going to have a new moon in Aries, and this will be in your 10th house of your career, public reputation, and your status. So you switch over from, a very private and personal area of your chart, and now you're dealing with a very public area of your chart. So now your career, public reputation, and status comes in focus during the second half of April. So you could be starting some type of new career, or there's some type of new status that you're stepping into at this particular moment in time, or just the way that other people see you and perceive you is starting new, starting different now. And again, depending on whatever sort of emotional uh, things you've been dealing with, as you release and let those go, it likely lightens your energy and makes it a lot easier for you to, present yourself on the world stage the way that you'd like to. You actually do have your natal moon in Aries, so this will feel quite good for you. And you also have Mars in Aries as well. So this will feel quite good for you. If things have been kind of stagnant and stuck and you haven't been able to make a lot of progress in terms of your career, over the past, let's say couple of years, now you get a fresh start, you get a new beginning, you can start to present yourself to the world the way that you'd like to. All right, moving forward from that, going into May now. Let's see what we have here. So then in May, 1st of May, you're going to have a full moon in Scorpio, okay? And so now you're going to have some type of completion energy in regards to your love life, your dating life, or if have some type of like creative hobby. Your name is Katie the Creative. So if you do have some type of creative hobby or creative business, now there's going to be some type of culmination, illumination in this area of your life. So if you're, dating anybody, this is where it's sort of, the make or break time. Either you're going to continue on dating this person, or you might choose to, move beyond this connection. You could be seeing a breakthrough in a creative project, kind of seeing it for its fullest potential. And again, deciding whether or not to continue, creating, or to let it go and to maybe make room for something new to come into your life. So that's May. Then May 16th, so second half of May, you'll have a new moon in Taurus. And this for you is your 11th house of your goals, plans, and dreams for the future. Okay, so this is a really nice one. Um, you know, I really love the 11th house. This is where you can set something in motion that, you may not see the results of it for quite some time, but eventually you can gain something really great in your life. A dream of yours can come true, or you can, achieve something really great. So this is where you're planting the seeds for something that you would like to develop in your life over, the next 6 months. You said, yes, oof, I'm ready for that energy shift. Yes, I know, I'm ready for it too. You said, maybe I will finish my album finally by May 1st. That's very possible. That's exactly something that could manifest at that time. Or if you don't finish it, you may become clear about what it's going to take to finish it, or how much longer, how much more time you need. You'll have more clarity around May 1st about, how it's all going to work out. So yeah, that definitely could happen. Then on May 31st, you'll have a full moon in Sagittarius. So this is going to point to your 6th house of work, health, and daily routine. So now something is culminating in regards to this area of your life. So this is where you could be seeing the results of your habits. So if you, let's say, for example, are eating a certain diet, or you're exercising a certain way, or you're not eating right, or you're not exercising, you kind of see the result of that or the consequences of that. And with that information, you can, kind of decide how you want to adjust your daily habits and your daily routines. This also deals with work. Okay. So if you're working, there could be some type of culmination in your work or your workplace at this time, and you get a better idea of where things are going to be heading for you in this area of your life for the next 6 months. Okay, then on, let's see, give me 1 second, please. Okay, sorry about that. So then after that, you'll have a new moon in Gemini. Okay, and this will be in your 12th house of endings, culminations, and losses. And this is kind of how you'll end the springtime. So, because you are a Cancer rising, when we hit Gemini season, this is kind of your slow down or your rest season, or where you kind of go within and make sense of the past 12 months and then decide, how you want to proceed forward with the next 12 months. So you may find yourself just wanting to spend more time alone, um, wanting to rest more, maybe needing to heal or release things during this time. Like I always say, when you're in like your 12th house season, it's a good time to like take a vacation or to take some time off from work, because you'll need it. You'll naturally, you'll want that. So, right before the summertime hits, you may have a little bit of a dip in your energy or dip in your will. Just go with it. Don't fight it. Take that time to reconsider your goals and reconsider like what's important to you. And that may naturally happen anyways, because we do have a Mercury retrograde that's going to happen in your sign starting on June 29th. So you'll kind of already be rethinking your entire life. You're going to be rethinking, do I like the direction that my life is going in? Do I like the way that I'm showing up? How are my relationships doing? Do I like my place of living? You'll naturally already be sort of thinking that way, anyways. Okay. So that's sort of the energetics that you'll be dealing with as a Cancer rising person. Now, some of the bigger events that are going to be happening during the springtime, first one happening this month is that Uranus will enter Gemini. You said yes. Always got to be rethinking my entire life. Yes. As a Cancer, yes. But yeah, Uranus will enter Gemini. So this for you is going to be happening in your 12th house. So this is a really fascinating place to have Uranus. For you, you will be doing a lot of work behind the scenes over the next 8 years in regards to like your healing journey and your spiritual journey. And this could see you doing different spiritual modalities that maybe you never thought you would do, or getting really interested in things like all of a sudden, maybe suddenly having an interest in astrology and wanting to take that really deeply. You do have Jupiter here, and Uranus will hit your Jupiter. So you may get like really into like astrology, or really into tarot, or really into meditation or something like that. So that's something that could come online for you this spring. Let's see what else. We'll also have Chiron will enter Taurus for you. Okay. And that's going to happen on June 19th. So Chiron is about a wound that we carry. It's like a sensitive spot that we have in our chart. And this for you over the past several years has been in your 10th house of your career, your public reputation, and your status. So maybe over the past several years, you've kind of felt like, I don't know really what I want my career to be. Or if you kind of have a career that's not very conventional and not mainstream, maybe you've felt like sort of ashamed or afraid to come out and like say like, yeah, like this is what I do. So that's something that maybe you've been navigating over the past several years. So now Chiron will move into your 11th house, and now where your wounding will be is going to be around like finding your tribe, finding community, finding people who understand you, and finding people who will help you to accomplish your goals, plans, and dreams for the future. You can feel a lot of like insecurity around groups of people and connecting to people. And if like, for example, you said you're doing an album, like you can maybe like feel kind of like scared to put yourself out there. and finding people who, can rally around your creative projects and things like that. So that's a new energy that will come online. And then besides that, the only other thing is that Mercury retrograde that will start on June 29th. That's going to have you rethinking everything because it's happening in your first house. Okay. You said, oh, wow. Yep. I haven't felt solid in career for years. Yeah. That Chiron could definitely, what it does is maybe just not giving you the confidence to like root yourself in something and like plant yourself in something and like boldly claim that you're doing something and like just having the confidence to um like stick with something solidly. Well, that will alleviate so you can, have more luck with that. You said love the idea of finding more community. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's going to become, a big theme once the nodes change signs, which will happen in the summertime. So hopefully that was helpful. Do you have any specific questions that you wanted answered? You said, I think I'm curious that if I will be guided to move to another country and be called to mission work. Okay, so very fascinating that you are even asking about this because you have your midheaven not only in the ninth house, but also in Pisces. Okay. So the ninth house deals with foreign lands, foreign cultures, foreign languages, and Pisces deals with healing and the sick and those who need our help. So you sort of have both of these energies merged together here in your ninth house. And the midheaven is your career point, it's your destiny point. And so, this would suggest that at some time in your life, yeah, you may feel very called to move to another country, not just for the sake of moving to another country, but to be of service, okay, to do mission work. That's literally what Pisces is about, okay? On top of that, you have your north node, which is your destiny point in this same location, okay? And your north node is trine or in a very positive aspect to your ascendant. So, yeah, I'm not surprised at all that this is something that you would like want to do, desire to do, and it would probably be like a really great experience for you and a very beneficial experience for you. Furthermore, if we look to your 12th house with deals with, being kind of like isolated and away from things, in foreign places, okay, with foreign people, you have your Jupiter, which, deals with travel and expansion. And you also have your Venus here, which is like your pleasure and your enjoyment. And Venus rules your fourth house of home and it's in the 12th house. So yeah, this could definitely see you, setting yourself up, somewhere else that's foreign, far away, you know, different than you. The chart makes a lot of, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. You said, whoa, I visited El Salvador with my church's mission in November, and I'm going back at the end of July. Been learning to speak Spanish. Wow, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. So when we talk about, okay, when is a move going to happen, or like when will this happen? We have to see big transits to these particular points in your chart. So, you'd want to see something transiting over your midheaven, something transiting over your north node, your Jupiter, your Venus, or over your IC. Okay. And what I just spoke of, Uranus, which is the planet of sudden and unexpected changes and revolutionary changes and innovation and advancements in our life, Uranus is going to transit over Jupiter in your 12th house at the end of this month. Okay. Or it's going to move into the 12th house rather. Um, Let me see exactly when it'll be sitting over your Jupiter. Let me see. Okay. Yes. So it looks like in the month of May. Yeah. So mid May, it'll get to your Jupiter. Yeah. So like May 17th. Um, that could be a big activation for you. Okay. Um, and I mean, you're already going away in July. So, this trip may be different this time where you're like, you know what, maybe I want to stay here. Or maybe I want to start going through the process of figuring out how I can make this more long term. That could be something that absolutely happens at this time. So um that's your big activation point, just looking a couple months ahead. So, see what happens. And, let me know if you want to look further ahead. We can get together in the future and see what other, dates and times you have some activations. But for the summer, or for the spring rather, that's your big activation. You said, well, I will be traveling in Italy in May. Okay. Yeah, you'll be abroad for sure. During that time with parents and brother and sister-in-law. Yeah. So something may happen on that trip where you're like, you know what? I think I don't want to go back. I think I want to stay here. Or I think I'm going to go over here. I think I'm going to just go ahead and start the process. You may all of a sudden, suddenly, unexpectedly, just decide to up and change your life. That's what Uranus does. It makes sudden, shocking, unexpected, unprecedented changes. So, you may experience something on that trip that, makes you want to change your life suddenly and, get the ball rolling. Uranus will be in your 12th house for the next 8 years. So, this is just the beginning of this journey for you. Oh my god, that's so funny. Holy cannoli. Yes, lots to unpack, lots to think about. Yes, that is the definition of a tower moment. Uranus is a tower moment. So yeah, so stay safe. Let me know how things go, and good luck. Yes, please let me know how things go. Let me know how this pans out. My pleasure. Thank you so much. Hello, Rhoda. How are you? I am good, love. How's everything going with you? How's the move and the new job? Sounds good. Let me pull up your chart. Let's see what's going on for you. Okay, so this is your full moon. This is your full moon. So this is where, the past 6 months of your life are coming to fruition or coming to culmination. And you're really seeing, the results of everything that you've been doing over the past 6 months. And so the fact that you're busy and you're loving it is just showing, okay, you made the right decisions, you got yourself to the right place, and now you can really start to settle into this new beginning. So the full moon is the climax energy. Okay, so you're kind of like you climbed over the front part of the mountain. Now for the next 6 months, you're kind of climbing down the back side of the mountain. So, whereas before you were like working towards and striving for and hoping for and wanting, things, well, now you get to see the result of what you've created. You're at the top of the mountain, so you get to enjoy the view. You have full visibility of your life. And then over the next 6 months, now you'll kind of go down the back side of the mountain. And this is where you're sort of coming down now and, internalizing everything that has happened and, thinking about, okay, what's next? What do I want next? What would I do differently? What could I change? Things like that. So I'd say, let's say for the next 3 months, you're sort of, you're still on the top of the mountain. You're starting to settle in, you're starting to make your descend down. And then like 3 months from now, it's like when we get to the summertime, that's when you'll kind of be in your full descent. And you can then start thinking about, okay, what's the next mountain I want to climb? And when I do climb that mountain, what do I want that mountain to look like? So what do I want my next journey to be about? Once we get to that point in time where you're kind of like thinking things, you're going to have you'll have the sun transiting through your 10th, 11th and 12th houses. So this is the part of the chart where, you get the rewards, you get the benefits, you get all the good stuff of the hard work. And then once it goes into the 12th house, so like it's around like August, September for you, that's when you're going to go, okay, that was great. Glad I did that. Wonderful. But what's next? Okay. So that's sort of the phase you're transitioning into right now. You're sort of settling into this new chapter, settling into your hard work, reaping the benefits, reaping the rewards, learning the lessons, taking everything away from it now, and then getting ready for a new story to start for you. Okay. Um, but yeah, this particular full moon happens at 12 degrees. So this will be on your south node. Okay. It will be conjunct your south node, or very close to your south node. Um, Meaning, yeah, it's like you're kind of receiving faded faded opportunities at this time, right? Things that you were meant to achieve, you're achieving. Okay. You're also releasing as well things that you no longer need. So as you start to align more with where you're going in this new chapter, it also becomes clear, okay, what you no longer need at this time either as well. This will also be in a sextile to Saturn in your third house. So there could be some important conversations that you'll be having at this time. You may be having to put boundaries in place with people, but again, these are likely people where it's like, okay, I'm doing this now. I'm busy. I'm not as available anymore. Like, you have to respect where I'm at. So those type of conversations can be had. This will also be in a trine to your Chiron. Okay. So you can feel a lot of confidence in yourself, and this can help to heal some of the wounds that you've acquired from your um from your upbringing, right? The ideologies and teachings that you were given. You're kind of starting to work beyond that now, right? So it's like that's why you have that sextile to Saturn in the third. It's like, okay, I don't really believe in that anymore. I don't really subscribe to that. I'm not really thinking like that. Like, you can kind of start to make those differentiations and, set boundaries with anyone that's like trying to take you down the wrong path. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, that's pretty much it. You said, I thought boundaries were hard before this job. I've literally worked every day for 2 weeks. I know I've got to put up some strong boundaries. Yeah, you'll definitely start to confront that with this full moon. Okay. And it will be easier for you to do that now. You're supported in that. You're supported in putting up boundaries, and you're supported with, kind of speaking your truth. And as you do that, it heals you. It heals you, and you go, yeah, this is what I have to do. This is what I should have done. You can kind of be like, man, if I would have spoken up for myself in the past like this, if I would have put boundaries up in the past like this, I would have avoided some issues. But you do it now, and that heals you. So it'll be easier for you to do this once this energy comes online. Yeah. So, like I said, this is your full moon, so this is your moment. So, enjoy it, and then you'll transition into a new energy as we move on throughout the year. You are very welcome. Good luck.